It is hard to quantify how much Sanjay has done to support CRY and save young lives. His research has transformed the way we understand cardiac conditions in young people. Sanjay has made it possible for CRY to screen more than 270,000 young people, and he's helped thousands of families over the years. Thank you, Sanjay, for joining us today. Thank you also for CRY patron Andy Scott for joining us. Andy has been a fantastic supporter of CRY for many years following his personal diagnosis of a heart condition, and will be with you today walking in memory of his close friend Rob. CRY's founder, Alison Cox, is sorry she can't be here today, but sends her warmest wishes to you all. The CRY Heart of London Bridges Walk has been our flagship event since 2007, having been established by CRY patron Catherine Harris, working with the CRY team. I'd like to take a moment to remember Catherine and acknowledge everything that she did to support CRY. She has left an incredible legacy in the creation of this important event and will be missed by all who knew her. I would also like to say a thank you to all of our amazing volunteers and CRY staff who make today possible. Also, all those businesses who are here to provide food and refreshments, and our sponsors, Chubb, Subuto, ServiceMaster, and Oppo, many of you who have supported us for many years. And mostly, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on our 17th Heart of London Bridges Walk. We greatly appreciate that so many of you have chosen to come to join us this year, many of you traveling the lengths of the country. For those of you joining us for the first time, we hope you will experience how it feels to be part of a community of people who understand. Thank you for coming today, for being part of this event, and for being part of this community of support for one another. Alison founded CRY in 1995 to support families after a tragedy. When she founded CRY, there was very little understanding of the impact of sudden cardiac death in young people, and it was believed there was about one young sudden death every week. We now know this is a gross underestimation, and there are tens of thousands of families throughout the country who have suffered similar devastating experiences. We'd like to thank you for coming today, to be with other families, to raise awareness, and to walk in memory of so many young people who have died so suddenly without warning. Alison's vision was that young people should not be dying like this. There needed to be more research. There needed to be more awareness, and young people needed to have the opportunity to have heart conditions identified and then be treated and supported. She couldn't understand why nothing was being done to save young people. So she set about establishing a heart screening program. A year later, she met Sanjay, and it started to take off. Over the past 28 years, CRY went from a back room in Alison's house to an organization which is testing more than 25,000 young people every year. CRY families have now raised more than £50 million to save young lives. We screened more than 270,000 young people, and more than 900 people have been identified with conditions which were potentially life-threatening, and they're now receiving treatment, lifestyle advice, and sometimes even corrective surgery. Every year, we are now identifying an additional 100 young people with conditions which could have been life-threatening. In 2006, CRY funded our first research fellow with Sanjay. There are now more than 30 consultant cardiologists who have been CRY research fellows, doctors who are based at hospitals throughout the UK, taking their expertise and their experience to supporting families at a network of specialist inherited cardiac conditions clinics. We are so pleased that Professor Michael Papadakis is here today with his family. Michael was a CRY research fellow more than 10 years ago and has risen to be a highly respected cardiologist and academic in his own right. He is amplifying CRY's messages at medical conferences at the highest level, driving our research forward and finding new ways in which we can build on what we are doing so we can learn more about cardiac conditions, support those who are diagnosed, and screen more young people. Michael is also instrumental in the development of the My Heart support network for young people who have been diagnosed with a cardiac condition. It is also fantastic that Professor Mary Shepherd is here today, joining us once again as she has done for many years. Mary is a world-renowned specialist pathologist and has led the CRY Centre of Cardiac Pathology for 15 years. So often, pathology is something people don't want to talk about. But Mary and CRY have built something quite unique, showing how important specialist pathology is to not only help understand why something so horrendous could happen, to try to make sense of something so incomprehensible, but also to show how important this area of science and medical practice is how crucial it is to help others. This year, the team published a major landmark paper looking back at more than 20 years, a paper which will form the bedrock of understanding of the causes of young sudden cardiac death for decades to come. Through the research by Sanjay, Michael, Mary, we are improving our understanding of the causes of sudden death, making us better able to identify and treat those at risk. When CRY first started, it was believed that one young person died every week. In time, through research, we found that it was at least 12. Soon, because of awareness, research and screening, we believe we will start to see that number fall. Young lives are being saved, but there is still much to do. When CRY was founded, people questioned if something should be done. There is no longer the question of whether something should be done. It is now just about what will be done and when. This progress has only happened because of all the families like yourself who have given so much to help others, by talking about what has happened, by raising funds, and by supporting screening and research. Thank you for your support and joining us today at our most important event to bring families together from all over the country. Thank you.